Her moment on the podium presenting the trophies. This is the Superstock 600 grid. Andy Reid, Mason Law, Tom Oliver on the front. Dan Stamper, Alex Alicia and Kyle Ryde on the second row. As you see it now, Joe Collier, Ben Godfrey and James Lodge on the third row. The fourth row headed by Ben Curry from Kevin Van Leeuwen and James Edwards. And what a pole position this is from Andy Reid. He just went out, did a warm-up lap and then set a new fastest ever. The tall Irish boy on pole position on the FFX Yamaha dives to the front straight away and launches down towards Paddock Hill Bend. So great start then from Andrew Reid. The 20-year-old hits the front from pole position and everybody safely and handily through Paddock Hill Bend.
Yeah, the sad thing is, I think with Andy Reid's pace that he's shown already, they might not see which way. He's got a big crash in the background. There's about 4 riders off there from probably about mid-pack. We're seeing number...
Boys, just when I said you've got safely through the first turn without messing it up.
Ashley Buxton, one of them, for sure.
Ashley Buxton from Ipswich on the Buxton Racing Yamaha definitely was one of them at the front, not knowing anything about that chaos behind him. Andrew Reid leads the way. I think Mason Law might have got through into second place straight off the front row of the grid. It is Mason Law there. Kyle Ryde, the former 125 champ, is there in third place ahead of Alicia, Stamper, Curry, Collier, Lodge, Godfrey and the other Irish kid, Andrew Irwin.
I think the safety car's out, I think.
Sorry, Alan Irwin.
I think the safety car's out. Oh, there's somebody out there. That's a big steady. And the safety car... There's oil down there. The safety car flag was up, although Andy Reid and Mason Law are still cracking on.
So we got a problem here. There was the big pile up there, the second pile up at Druids Hill.
It's got to be a red flag. It has to be a red flag. It is a red flag.
The red flag out.
I just think there must have been oil from that first crash up at Druids. There must have been. So we see the first crash. This is from a different angle, and there's... Yeah, let's have a look. There's 4 riders off. There's nobody in that. Oh, no. Maybe I'm just looking at the bike still running, going back onto the track. It's quite steep down there onto the apex of Druids, and I'm just wondering if that's dribbled some oil or fuel or coolant onto the track, because the next time they came round there was another 4 or 5 riders off.
The boys come rolling back down pit lane then, and they'll have it all to do again. Number 67, Andy Reid off pole. Number 22, Mason Law running in second place, coming off second place on the grid. The lad from Benfleet in Essex on the Trick Moto Kawasaki. And those two lads... happy with their machinery, really happy with their qualifying. In fact, the FFX Yamaha boys were saying that Andrew Reid was really impressive because he'd come in thinking he'd gone fast enough, and then they said you could probably go a bit quicker, and let's see if we can get you on pole position. It's good to see that everybody's looking in reasonable shape there up at Druid.
Yeah,
but Andrew Reid went out, he did one sighting lap, and then he just pulverised the lap record and came back in and said, that'll do then, no one will go quicker than that.
Just look at that, there's more bikes up at Druids than there is in the bike park out the back of the circuit here.
it is a bit of a stake.
Yeah, you're talking about Andy Reid there. Andy Reid is a talented lad. We saw him in a 125 riding completely over the top, but you could see from what he was doing and how fast he was in the corners that he has a lot of talent. And he's Irish, which means he's not afraid and he'll get stuck in. That's just the way they are.
He did say... He did, and when I said it was good that we got you off the 125 then, because you're obviously enjoying the 600. He said, yes, but it was the 125 that got me the ride. People saw me and the performance I put in on it, and I said, well, that is certainly the case.
The ride he had at Assen last year on the 125 was either going to get him a ride in this class or another class, or locked up. It was close either way. We're going to see the second incident, and I think there must be some oil down there, because the way they were Look, one slides, two
yes,
slides,
they
and then,
all
and then
had moments.
So there is
Yeah.
actually. I think there was a blue bike from the original crash, went back onto the track and then dribbled something onto the track, because that is for sure something on the circuit. And I mean, the marshals have a difficult job. It's their job to see if there is anything on the circuit. However, they had that much work to do from the initial incident. 4 bikes down to be picked up, riders to be attended to, that you can forgive them for not spotting absolutely everything.
And we hadn't realised that both Reed and Law had massive moments at the front.
Yeah. Everybody went through it, had moments, and then they started crashing in lumps.
And everybody's thankfully being picked up. We've another number we can check there is the number 61. That's Benjamin Curry from Melbourne, the Australian on the Motor Breakers Kawasaki, unfortunately out. So too number 80, Dan Stamper, who'd qualified so well on the Allied Racing Kawasaki. So some guys who had qualified really well and would be looking forward to good races are amongst the victims in those two multiple mishaps. So we'll restart with as many people. And I think one of the other ones who might have gone down is the former Supermoto star Malachi Mitchell Thomas, the kid on the Silicone Engineering Racing Kawasaki, who runs number 13. And I used to commentate on him, James, when he was racing at the top of his game as a young man in Supermoto. He's still only about 20, and he's already placed something like 5th in the European Supermoto Championship. And this is his first venture into tarmac road racing.
Well, what we do know is the Supermoto riders, top ones, generally don't go far wrong when they go road racing. It is a good grounding for them. They normally make good road races.
Other fallers we've got down there, James, number 96, Ryan Dixon from Folkestone is one of the guys there, as well as Mitchell Thomas. Number 24, Jordan Gilbert on the Team Haribo Star Mix Triumph was another man who went down. And 38. So too, besides the guy